Hi, Mochismo Eugene. Welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. Please like, subscribe, share the video if you found it helpful. Give it a thumbs up and pass it on if you believe someone else would benefit from it. I would appreciate that. I told you guys I would talk to you about the double bind as it relates to what I believe Monica and Brian Trejo are experiencing. Now, Monica said prior to this most recent video of her and him reuniting, when she had the meltdown last year, that he was caught in multiple situations where he was unfaithful, infidelity, while on the road, messing around behind her back while she stayed home to keep and care for the kids. He didn't want her to travel. He all but caused her to cease traveling when she started doing good in her songs and she started having some pop. He was basically tearing it apart. Didn't give her flowers. And she also went in on the meltdown explaining to the audience on a live that he was a narcissist. I knew it. And she went on to say she had gotten into psychology, was going to do a little psychology school online, and he tried to dissuade her not to do that. It was wasted time. Throwing her off the scent, if you will. And so she called him out in her meltdown last year. And she described some behaviors and some patterns that he had demonstrated time and time again. The reading the Bible when his homies came over, but never prayed with the family. As soon as they came over, he pulled the Bible out and have church and pretended to be this holy, godly man. And we all know a narcissist masquerades in front of people who don't know them as though they're all that in a bag of chips. And to the people who live with them, who spend the most time with them, who are most intimate, meaning the ones who are closest to them, they know the truth. And they condition those who are closest to them. They condition you so well to the point where, looking back, you never gave a peep to anyone that you were living in a hell. That things were not rosy as that person pretended them to be. So when she went on this rant and this meltdown, she described narcissists, and she had been studying it. And here most recently, she not recanted, but it's just like they were just reuniting and doing therapy and this and that. And Brian was trying to apologize to the public. And I know y'all ain't gonna forgive me, this, that, and the other, finishing our thoughts for us, if you will. And, saying Monica forgave him. They've been praying and this and that and that and this. And just went on this conversations of sort to social media to tell them that he was sorry. Now, if this is what Monica said it was last year, which I want to believe it is, and this is my opinion. Even myself, I used to rock with this guy, and he, and being awakened since 2020, I was following him way before that. And it's interesting that people we've known most of our life, years and whatnot, we've had to come to a conclusion and understand and accept that these people, in fact, that we've known for a long time are just that. They are narcissistic with a personality disorder specifically. And so the double bind in this situation is what I'm trying to get to. I believe is when a person has conflicting dilemmas that they have, they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't. They neither situation is good in their favor, but they pick one over the other, the lesser of two evils, I want to say. And see, what I want to tell you about the churches are built in a way, and they're ran in such a way that the double bind is imminent. What Monica could have done if she had the wherewithal, she had the education academically, She had recognized that he had behavior that patterns after a narcissist. But what I believe she didn't do was get into strict isolation and chose and picked those that she didn't know to intervene on her behalf and get this education while she was in isolation. But of course, her and Brian, being partakers of the same church, members of the same church, I know all too well the church came to her aid. And obviously that was a given. She surrounded herself around people she considered was family, meaning church family. And what we have to understand, a double bind is so effective by the narcissist in you by themselves alone, let alone a church with parishioners in the hundreds. And it doesn't take hundreds. So bigger point is, if she had the wherewithal to get some bearing and some balance about herself mentally, to get some courage and strength to say, this is it, I'm over and I'm out. The church, using the Bible, they presented to her, they didn't force her, they presented an alternative to what she was going through. And they presented it to her in a fashion whereas it was biblical. Forgive, love your husband, honor him, submit to him. And by them covering her in prayer and intercession, she most definitely came to her own conclusion of, in forgiving him, it meant accepting him back. Even after the fact that she said out of her own mouth that I know he's a narcissist. See, the double bind is a guarantee that the narcissist, once they're done with you, either them being deliberately done with you, or if they get caught in some infidelity or caught in something that they can't get themselves out of, they can go in isolation. They can come back and give you an illusion that they are remorseful. They've gone into the lab to polish up their character. A narcissist is never truly sorry. A narcissist is never truly remorseful. A narcissist is never truly healed to the point where they will not do that thing that they said they won't do again. And to that point, I think humans in general, there's no guarantee that you won't do the thing that you said that you won't do again. But the difference in just the average human being and a narcissist with a disorder, they have deceitful, manipulative agendas from the inset or the onset, before they ever come to the point of giving you their apologies. They have already prescribed the deception. That is the motivating factor with them and you, as opposed to them and you and me. There's true remorse. There's true accountability. There's true sorrow for the people you've hurt. And so this double bind is the church ensuring that this situation with Monica and Brian will continue to work itself out. I think the best thing would have been for her is to, and again, to her credit, I want to believe that her reasonings for going back to him were the children. And that's the way the double bind works as well. We give ourselves excuses as to why we need to stay with this person. when all the writing is on the wall that these people are not going to change. We think because we've forgiven them, we'll encourage change. But the sad reality is that the change that you're expecting from a narcissist is just that. You're expecting that. And because you're expecting that, that's the illusion that you have in your head. And sometimes that is all a broken person needs, or a broken person has to have, because that's better than nothing to them. Being alone to them is worse than being with that person, in light of the fact that they've known, and that person has shown them time and time again that they have done this over and over again, and they have a strong propensity to do it again. But that person will gamble that because they don't want to be alone. And so I want to end this video and just say that that is a strong component of how that double bind works. There will be people already encamped around that situationship as a buffer or a backup plan, if you will. So even though Brian was in hiding, or whatever you want to say, I say hiding. He didn't come out and do a formal apology alone. He apologized in the car on live with a car full of his kids and stuff. All of this distraction, the radio going to the point he pulls over, gives us the impression that, oh, let me pull over so I can talk to y'all. And you could just look at Monica's face, beautiful as she wants to be. She colored her hair pink, it's real loud pink or purple. It's beautiful. Girls do that kind of stuff. And you could just see that she gave the appearance like she was walking on clouds. It's like a weight, she said, was lifted off of her when she forgave. And she was pretty much unctioning this forgiveness onto the viewers indirectly. I don't know if you caught that. She said, I know all you guys are going to be thinking, whatever, but I'm not concerned. I know you got a right to feel that way. I was wrong. She even apologized for the fact that she shouldn't have went on live. And this is what narcissists condition us to do. They make us end up or provoke us into looking like fools. And if we go and take them back, we renege on what we said. It's like we never said it. We never meant what we said. Now, I'm going to end this video, and I'm just going to tell you guys, I stand on this. And it's sad because the church is a diabolical entity right now in this time we're living in. Churches help finish the damage most often that a narcissist creates. Because there's no insight. There's no real spiritual insight as to how demons operate. Because we invest our trust in people, even when God is showing us what we need to see. We'll use the Bible quicker than anyone else can to alleviate the Shadowintergration, which I'll be talking about in the next video. Shadowintergration is when we go deep within and we start looking at the fact of what we are, as opposed to what we perceived we were up to that point. And it happens in your isolation. And every human being has a shadow persona. It's an illusion we are conditioned to have to get us through and navigate through this world, to help us measure up, to help us go along, to get along, to help us blend in with less friction, less opposition as possible. and it's to our own detriment. But when God in his mercy awakens an empath who he has already designed for a purpose in this world to bring about light into the darkness, to expose the darkness. When an awakened empath goes into the shadow integration, it's hell on earth. And most often, this is a super empath. And I'll speak about that because I have been doing some studying about it, and it is deep. And believers, if you believe in Christ, if you believe in God, if you believe in the Bible, you won't want to miss this when I start talking to you about the shadow integration. Because years ago, I would not have embraced psychological perspectives on stuff because I believed the Bible was absolute and it should have been all I needed to guide me through this world. And the Spirit of God would show me the things that were not of God. Okay, I still stand by that. But I'm going to show you there's a season where God begins to show you through dreams and visions. You think your awakening was just some one-off. It was just some fluke. That was the hand of God. The Bible says much studying wearies the soul. Some of us pride ourselves in being so astute in Bible lingo and jargon, being able to study intensely, going in hiding for months and weeks, and we do hours of studying. But we don't recognize the things that God is showing us based on the shadow. Because most of us don't want to deal with the shadow. Because to give light to the shadow, it is all the things we've hidden from ourselves to help us deal with the life that we know in our spirit and in our soul doesn't jive with our inner being. We start cutting deals with the devil. So I'll talk to you more about the shadow integration of the super empath. It is when we take our forgiveness and put it on ice. That being said, bless.